Aloha everybody and welcome to part 5 of Mega Man Powered Up, and now we are heading to the last 2 stages in the game. In fact, Wily 3 is basically the boss rush level of the game. Unlike the original Mega Man, which sort of had Cut Man and Elect Man in Wily 2, and then it made you go through the last 4 in Wily 4, Wily 3 is the boss rush level. Now, here's the thing that sucks about Powered Up. It's not such a big deal in Easy and Normal mode, because the thing about Easy and Normal mode is that when you hit the Robot Masters with their weakness, they actually do get kind of stunned and, like, back up a little, and then they're a lot easier to manage, you know? In hard mode, when you hit them with their weakness, they don't actually get stunned. They just keep doing what they're doing. I mean, obviously it hurts them more, but it's not interrupting their attacks. The boss rush in Wily 3 for Mega Man Powered Up does not have any energy refilling whatsoever. You see that free man I just passed? I'm going to use this helicopter... Oh god, or not. I'm going to use the helicopter guy. I'm going to jump to where the free man is because I need it. I need an extra life for this because there is no energy refills whatsoever. You have to do all of the boss rush, all 8 Robot Masters, with the lives you have, with the energy you have, because there's no energy tanks. They don't drop energy when they die. I don't know why they don't drop energy when they die. That's been a staple of the entire series, X series included, so it's kind of nonsensical to me, but I guess they figured, you know, in the original Mega Man they didn't drop energy, so why should they in Powered Up? Probably because we were taking on 4 in a row, not 8. But I digress. Hard mode is quite tricky. You might want to stock up on lives. So again, stack up on lives if you're playing on hard mode. Again, in normal mode they get stunned, so it's a little quicker, but yeah. That was Rocket On from the soundtrack of Jet Set Radio, a fantastic Sega game. I'll put it in the description so you can listen to the full thing. But there's still more to Wily 3. After the boss rush, we still have a little bit more level, and then we got the Copy Robots. If you remember the original Mega Man, Copy Robot was a guy who, well, he was another Mega Man who actually copied what powers you had. So if you had Fireman's weapon equipped, he would have Fireman's weapon equipped. In easy and normal mode, he's pretty basic. He fluctuates in and out of being regular Copy Robot Mega Man and switching to the powers themselves, and then you can actually use the weakness of the powers he switched to against him. So easy and normal mode's not such a big deal. In hard mode, he has a rather different strategy, and it can be a little bit tricky, I won't lie. Again, stack up on lives. Wily 3 will test your patience quite a bit. It's a long level when I'm not speeding up the boss rush.
Hey, Blue Bomber. Just a little unfair to steal other robots' arms, don't you think? A clone of me? How far will Dr. Wily go? But I guess being a copy of you would make me the biggest cheat of them all, right?
Again, the thing about this guy, in hard mode, he has a different tactic than when he does in easy and normal mode. In hard mode, he has a charge shot. Hey, I don't have that yet. You didn't copy me. You copied Mega Man from the future. But he has a charge shot, and basically, you know, you always know when he's about to fire it. It has a very specific timing to it, a certain rhythm to it, if you will. And he occasionally jumps after a few shots on him. Like, the more you shoot him, after a certain number of shots, he jumps. That's what I found. If you don't shoot at him, he really has a timed jump, but it's kind of hard to tell when he'll jump. And the strategy I have right now is pretty useful. It works for me. Sometimes I can beat the guy like this, and I'm pretty fine. Again, that charged up shot is very powerful, so you do not want to get hit by it. But if you do what I'm doing, you can pretty much take out Copy Robot no problem. Unless you choke under pressure and die. In hard mode, he does not switch to any of the powers. He just relies on the Mega Buster and charging it up constantly over and over and over again. So he doesn't really have a weakness, per se, in hard mode. When he's in his regular Blue Bomber form, everything is pretty much the same amount of damage. I mean, the Mega Buster is still weaker than Firestorm and stuff. That's why I'm doing more damage with Firestorm and everything. But, you know, again, it's just sometimes it's a little hard to anticipate the pattern of this guy, you know? It's kind of hard for me to describe. I don't think he's as hard as Yellow Devil, and certainly not CWU, Bubble Boss, whatever the fuck his name is. But, you know, if you don't have enough lives, if you didn't come into this thing with like 5 lives and you just went through a gigantic boss rush and you have only like 1 or 0 lives left, getting to this guy and then getting completely surprised by him is fucking annoying, and having to redo the entire boss rush because of this guy is really annoying too. He has a basic pattern, you can get the hang of it, but nevertheless, be careful with this guy, just be careful. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we're heading to the final level of the game. We are going to Wily 4 to take on the big bad Dr. Wily himself. The opening hallway is filled with pellets. It's got lots of turrets, it's got those 5 shooters, it's got things that you basically want to shoot with the rolling cutter or some kind of magical weapon. I mean, you're going to need all your powers for Dr. Wily. He is a multi-weaknessed boss. Multi-weakness boss? Is that a phrase? But after this hallway, there will be some energy to refill your weapon energy with, and a few Gutsman platforms. Again, I mentioned this last part, but there's a specific platform I think is a little too pixel perfect, and it makes playing this game as anyone who isn't Mega Man or Time Man really annoying. But this jump right here, I generally use Time Man's ability so that I stay in the air a little extra second longer, and then I can make that platform. It looks easy. It really does, but I swear to you, from multiple playthroughs of this game, there is something about that platform that is just a little too pixel perfect to me. If you don't jump just before it folds out, you're going to jump for it and pass through it before it reforms. I swear. That's just what I found. Every time I play this game, it always feels a little bit off. It always feels a little too exact. So I tend to use Time Man's ability to cheat that little jump. Not that it matters, but, you know. Anywho, folks, it's time for Big Bad Dr. Wily himself. Hope you came in here with full health. Hope you came in with all your weapon energy intact. I don't know why you'd waste it on that hallway, but shit is real now.
If only I programmed you differently back then, it would have been genius. It's the only mistake I made in my life.
I'm really angry, Dr. Wily. Using innocent robots for your evil plans? I won't forgive you for this!
What? Why, you insolent fool! I will crush you with a loud crunch! Behold, my latest creation, the ultimate combat robot, Wily Machine number 1!
Okay, so constantly throughout the game, I have been switching my powers with the L and R buttons, because I like doing that. But for this boss fight, I actually go into the menu to switch powers because it saved me a lot of time. Basically, Dr. Wily keeps switching from all of the Robot Master's powers, and you can tell which Robot Master he's impersonating because the dome at the top will change to a certain color. When it's white, he's being Cut Man. When it's black, he's being Oil Man. When it's red, he's being Fireman. And generally, you always have to use the weakness that is associated with that power. So you remember, what is Fireman weak to? Ice Slasher. Gotta whip out the Ice Slasher and hit Wily that way. I usually switch it out with L&R, but that usually gets me killed if I do so.
Ah! You stubborn fool! This time I'll finish you for good! Curses! Useless piece of junk! Wait a second! It's alive again! I'm a genius!
His second form isn't really that much different from the first form. The only difference this time is that he's dipping up and down, and when he goes off screen, you can't really see the weakness that he's supposed to be, so he might get an extra shot on you because you don't know what his weakness is at that point in time. Otherwise, it's still the same deal. Always switch your powers through the pause menu because it saves you a lot of time. Try to dodge all of the attacks he shoots at you. I mean, if it's kind of a practice thing where you sort of have to fight him a few times before you know how his gun operates. Like the oil slider, he always shoots it up in the air and then down on you. Same with the hyper bomb, so it's, you know, you gotta get used to that, especially Cutman's ability. He'll always resort to the Cutman ability, and because Super Arm is something where you have to grab a block to throw at him, you have to resort to the Mega Buster when he's in Cutman form because there's really nothing you can do to him. And trying to dodge the cutter and timing when he shoots it and when to jump is a little tricky. You have to do it in one life, but honestly, Dr. Wily isn't that tough of a boss if you practice him enough. He's pretty simple. And I saved the day!
Why, you... this calls for a temporary retreat! Whoa! Wait a minute! I promised to be good! I'm a changed man! I said I promise! Please don't hurt me! All right!
Thanks to the heroic actions of Mega Man, peace has once again been restored. Even the nefarious Dr. Wily seems to have had a change of heart and is now working for a peaceful tomorrow. Or so it seems. We sure hope he won't make 8 more Robot Masters and come back in one of the most awesome Nintendo games ever created. Of course, we never got a Mega Man Powered Up 2 because Powered Up actually didn't sell well, unfortunately. So they never made plans for a sequel. This was the only remake in the classic series that we really ever got, which is a shame. I would have loved to have played Powered Up 2 as Bubble Man or Quick Man or, you know, Woodman or whoever, but I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, there's still so much of this game I have to show. I'm doing a second playthrough with each of the playable characters, the Robot Masters, the other versions of Mega Man, and of course those 2 extra characters that I also have that are also fun to play. Mega Man Powered Up is fantastic. I mean, it can be on the hard side if you're playing on hard, but on easy and normal, it's a fairly fine challenge. It's a little too cutesy for some players, I know, but I really enjoyed the style. I really enjoyed taking the original Mega Man and just completely revamping it, rechanging it. You know, I like the voice acting. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. These voice actors, they're good people. They're good people. Don't hate on kids. Don't hate on them. But Mega Man Powered Up I would totally recommend. If you have a PSP, I think you can download it for the PlayStation Network. Maybe not, but either way, find Mega Man Powered Up, play it, because it's fantastic. If you would all like Mega Man, this is a very awesome remake of Mega Man 1. So I would totally recommend. Absolutely, I would recommend. But, that's the first playthrough, ladies and gentlemen. Stick with me, and we will see the second playthrough where I play as all the Robot Masters. Till then, toodles.